Thinking of cutting off my wife financially. I make about 3–4 grand a month at my job at a distribution center. My wife's makes maybe 1–1.5 thousand a month. We are constantly having things shut off due to bills. Taking her to Vegas for her 21st birthday, which we really couldn't afford in the first place. Been sharing my vehicle for about a year now because we can never save enough to buy another. But there's always weed, nicotine, and DoorDash around. Just getting incredibly tired of not being able to pay my debts back and never having any savings. So make a budget and talk about it. What you will put in and stick to it. Make a budget and stick to it. Insist on splitting things as evenly as possible. DoorDash is a good way to make you broke as hell. Why are you going to Vegas when you are getting utilities shut off? If your wife is using up $4,500 a month in weed, nicotine, and DoorDash so much to where she's not paying bills, then she has a problem. That's a decent amount of money for two people alone to live off of. She has to have addiction issues if she's using up all of that money like that. Is she depressed? Is she okay? I'm worried about her. I'd try having an open conversation about it and try setting a budget. Maybe you'll find out if there's an underlying problem. If she still can't follow it and things don't improve within a few months, then I'd understand cutting her off from your money. Time for a conversation about finances and budgeting. Why hasn't that happened? Does she think there is a problem? Think you both need to sit down and take control of your finances. Maybe downsize and live somewhere cheaper. Separate bank accounts. And one shared account you both put 25% in. That's the house fund. To be used to pay for food, eating out, essentials, and for saving for new vehicle. Out of your own bank accounts pay the bills in a fair ratio. You make twice as much money, it's only fair you pay 2/3 of bills and her 1/3. Thinking of cutting off my wife financially. Y'all are going to get divorced if you unilaterally do this. Money problems are one of the most common causes for divorce. You two need to sit down and discuss your finances together and get on the same page. It sounds like you don't have a budget if you're having utilities constantly shut off. It needs to be you and her against the problem, not you versus her. What do I do? I learned I am not my father's daughter. Hi. Maybe throwaway, we will see. I really need perspectives. First, I love my family. I cannot remember many bad things between us. Was closer with my mother, but I think I have a very good relationship with my father. We share even hobbies together, and my brother and I also are very close. It turned out I, 19 female, am not my father's daughter. X1, my brother, 21, is very likely his son. They share a hereditary disease. I confronted my mother, the first time she dismissed it and left the house. When she came back she screamed at me to let it go. The third time she broke down. Said that it is possible but I can never tell him. She says he's throwing us both out if he would know. X2. She said he would not accept me if he would know. I tried to talk to him yesterday, but I panicked. I thought I would simply mention the test, or ask for a real one to be sure, but how can I do that? I fear my mother could be right. Since then I cannot look him in the eyes. My mother cooked big and is extra attentive, talks about family and how good our life is a lot. I cannot stand her. I wrote a letter to not tell him myself but did not give it to him. What do? I am terrified of telling him. I feel like I betrayed him. I have no idea what I would do if he really kicks us out. My mother does not work and did not since a long time. I could, but it would change everything. I am so angry with her and now me, and so sad. I think he should know, make an informed decision, but maybe not now? After my education? This is so fucked up. I know I did nothing wrong until I did not tell him, but since then I feel shady and selfish. Even the thought to wait to tell him makes me sick, but it would maybe be better for me? And #X200B. X1. My made a 23andMe in August his year, partly for fun but mostly because he fears a genetic disease that my father fights since a few years. He urged me to make one too for early treatment. I did. I got it back on the 24th. And it says we are half-siblings. We do not have a real fatherhood test so far, but my mother admitted that there is a chance, but refuses to tell me more so far. X2. I live still with my parents, and plan to do that until I finished my education. Me and my brother have a floor of the house for ourselves. I really like it there. X3. My father travels a lot, he is normally away for 4 days a week. Edit. Thanks for the replays everyone. I need to step away a bit. Many of the posts let me cry again. Especially the ones that say nice things or try to ensure me that he would still love me. I want to go on a long walk to think and calm down. I will come back later. Sorry for not replaying until then. Edit 2. Thank you all very much. I decided to tell him. But I am still not sure how. There are suggestions to bring him and my mother together, present the test and tell her she need to explain it to him. In private MSG I was asked what his job is, and someone added to my consideration that it could endanger him. Many pointed out I should think about a backup plan, and made clear that it is very likely that my mother will resent me if I tell him. This means there is a very real possibility that I am alone afterwards. I may go hiking with my brother a few days and talk to him first. I also talked to a friend of mine and her mother that is a very close friend since childhood. I would be welcome at least a few weeks there, for a start. She thinks I should not talk to him before Christmas. She thinks that is something for the New Year's Day, but I cannot imagine Christmas like that. I also will visit another friend for the next days. I can't stand them at the moment. I don't think you should wait. You obviously can't live with the lie and it will create a gap between your father and you if you keep the truth since it eats you so much. Now if you wait, he will definitely overthink it because if I had a daughter and she told me that, my first questions would be how and when did you know? Find a good moment, talk to him and hope for the best. It may end up with you being thrown out. It may end up well, but in my opinion, it's something that you will talk about sooner or later, so better go through it early. Edit. You are a victim here, not at fault. Don't blame yourself. You didn't betray or lie to him. Make sure you have a place to stay before you tell him. Some fathers stick around after finding out while others complete reject their non-bio children. If you're dependent on him, you need to have some sort of backup plan in case it goes left. Tell him. Because your mom sure as hell won't. He deserves to know and might love you more for telling him. If he finds out at a later time, he might resent you for keeping it to yourself. I know it's scary, but being a father is more than biology, so if he throws you out, he's never been your true father. I hope he realizes that this changes nothing between you two and everything between him and your mom. Best of luck. Your mother is a manipulative CNT. Reason number 4,997,395 for mandatory paternity tests before a man's name is put on a birth certificate. You need to tell your father ASAP. Think about what you want more. Do you want to use him for his money for a bit longer to feed your own convenience? Or do you want to respect his agency and consent and tell him the truth ASAP? Don't cheapen your love for him by waiting. If you have any respect for him, tell him immediately. I'm a male. I think any men can just nut off and create a baby. But not many men can stick from birth, supporting, being there every single day, loving, caring, sacrificing, working, providing for a child for years and years. If you choose to tell him he's doing what a real father does. Okay, maybe you change the nut off with some other family-friendly words. Before you tell him, you need to try and come to terms with the fact that there is a good chance he will disown you. It's the ultimate betrayal for him. Some people cannot recover from that. I'm sorry for your situation, you shouldn't have to hold this lie and he should know. Your mom sounds awful. She cheated on your dad and now she's trying to manipulate you into not telling. She's threatening you, saying how awful everything wouldn't if you talked. What a bitch. Went through girlfriend's phone while sleeping. I'm 20M. Here with my soon-to-be ex-girlfriend, 20F. It's 4 a.m. and she's dead asleep. She's been acting funny recently and I've known her phone password for a while, but I never used it until tonight. I am appalled. 3 separate guys she's texting and planning to meet up with one of them tomorrow night. She cancelled her and I's plans tomorrow because she said her family needed her because her grandpa's dying. She was talking about how, you're my bestie but I wouldn't mind if you rearranged my insides. When I read that, my heart dropped. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 4 months. Met on Tinder in August and it's been amazing since. I was there for her when her grandma died. She lives an hour and a half away and I come down almost twice a week. She told me that after our first date she did hook up with one guy but hasn't seen anyone since. I trusted her and didn't pay any mind to it. We've talked about poly and she said she'd be honest if she ever had those feelings to be with anyone else. I trusted her again. I'm not the type to do poly, but she has my heart. I'm honestly in love with her. I've been there for her for absolutely everything in the short time we've been together. I've helped her move into her dorm. I've been there for her when her grandma died. I worked my heart out in bed. I bought every meal, I drove everywhere. I wasn't expecting anything back in return because I was being the best man I could. But I wasn't expecting this as reimbursement. I bought her AirPod Pros for Christmas because she's going back home from college for winter break and I found messages of one of her hometown boys she's planning on hiking up with. My heart is broken and hasn't gone below 150 BPM since 12 a.m. I'm hurt. I'm crying so hard I can taste the tears in the back of my throat. My limbs are numb and cold. I'm faint and broken. I have pictures and videos of all the evidence of her cheating and planning to hook up with people in great detail. What I'm wondering now is, should I take back my AirPods from her purse and leave right now at 4 a.m.? Or stay the night and forget about it and let hell break loose later along with my heart? TLR went through GF's phone and found messages of her planning to meet with other guys. Do I leave now with her expensive gift I got her, or let her keep it and deal with it later? Take the pods and leave. Don't make a scene. You deserve to, but you'll regret it later on. Trust me. She'll know exactly what she did. I'm sorry you found out that way, my friend. She is dishonest and disloyal person. Oh buddy, so sorry. It's been 4 mallets, not a huge loss. Sounds like you rushed into things and she knew it would be easy to use you. I'm sure she's probably been doing this from the start. You were just a comfy shoulder. Take your AirPods and leave and don't look back. Just leave. She doesn't respect you, and even when you've given her a line for open communication about her needs, if she wanted to see other people, she chooses to lie to you. That's disgusting. 4 months isn't a lot of time invested in someone. Just move on and find someone who doesn't use you and lie to you. Leave now. Take the gift, send her all the screenshots with the evidence, and then block her on everything. I'm sorry this is happening to you. Did her grandma really die, though? Seriously though, she fucked around and you found out. Nothing to do now but thank your lucky stars you found out before you wasted time. Get an STD test and move on, enjoying your new AirPods. Maybe you're going to think my advice is not practical, but I would just break up with her and say you're not feeling the relationship anymore. Obviously, I understand how it might feel better to burn her with the evidence, but I would look at that stuff and be grateful that my exit is validated. You're going to be just fine, op. Time to love yourself some more. Just go. You're not going to sleep anyway. Cut her off and ignore her, it'll eat her alive eventually, I swear. If she don't care, she doesn't care, but karma is going to come back and bite her in the ass. She'll learn later in life. Just trust the process. Boyfriend wants me to lose weight to introduce me to his friends and family. My boyfriend wants me to lose weight to introduce me to his friends. We started dating when I was in the same size I am right now, but he wants me to get to the physique I was 4 years back. When I'm saying that is toxic, he guilty trips me saying he wants me to be healthy and save the relationship. What do I do? Does he really want me to lose weight in the name of getting healthy? How is he not already? You're blocked everywhere, ex-boyfriend. Since he wants less of your weight in the relationship, remove 100% of it and find a man that deserves you. It's obviously not about being healthy, because otherwise why is it tied to being introduced to his friends? He wants a trophy girlfriend and he's shallow and pathetic. You can do better. I'd lose the 120 pounds he probably brings to the relationship. Dump him. He doesn't have the balls to say he is a shallow tool that thinks your sole purpose is to impress his friends and family with your physicality. I doubt he's an Adonis himself. You might be amazed how much lighter you feel when he's out of your life. Here's the deal, it's always going to be something. You're too fat, you're not blonde enough, you need new teeth, and so on. If he was really worried about your health, he wouldn't be conditional with it. Oh, you can meet anyone till you're skinny again. I've recently lost 40 pounds with CICO and exercise, which doesn't burn that many calories but is still good for us. I started in June and it's almost December. It's not good to lose any faster than that unless your life is in danger from the weight. In summary, dump him. The weight you need lose is whatever he weighs. After I left my BF, not going to lie, 60 pounds melted off. During our relationship I felt like I had to be very restrictive. His family always praised tall, slender women. And looking at his exes, they were all petite. I was very unhappy and oftentimes lethargic, because of the lack of food. Dumped him. I felt free, I focused on health not my weight, and lost the 60 pounds I'd been trying to lose for the past 5 years. No more pressure, no more nagging. Ditching him would probably help you immeasurably. Having someone harping about your weight is damaging and, as you know, not motivating in the least. You certainly don't deserve to be with someone who actively shames you and behaves as if he's ashamed of you. If you are at a weight, shape that is not healthy, physically or emotionally, then, certainly, it is worthwhile to make some changes, but for yourself, not a shallow bully.